So if you follow social media, then you've probably seen a wondrous little AI tool called ChatGPT that seems to be able to do almost anything. But that got me thinking, this AI tech industry, it's been quiet for a few years, but it's been growing steadily upon us. And what sort of stocks out there could we trade in 2023? What are the best ones? Or if you want exposure to the whole market, an ETF, is there one out there for AI and its technology? Now the market, according to research, reckons it's about a $60 billion industry at the moment, set to grow to about $450 billion within the next 7 years. So there's a lot of growth opportunity there. So I've found roughly about 20 stocks and 3 ETFs, and I'm going to narrow that down to a handful for ones for you to maybe get stuck into and add into your portfolios for the following year. So with that, let's get into the detail. Let's presume you don't want to invest in the individual stocks, but you want to get an overall portfolio of artificial intelligence stocks. Then you might want to consider an ETF in that area. Now I came across 3 and they had the tickers KOMP, Robo, ROBO, and the third one ROBT, and that's the one that you see in front of us now. That's the First Trust Nasdaq Artificial Intelligence and Robotics ETF, and I like this one because it's more focused in on the AI than the others, I felt. But like the others, it hasn't been a great last year or so. Did take off in that COVID time, as you can see there, real big push up into the highs around the 60, went flat for most of 21, and then 22 it's been sinking on down. But what's encouraging is this Fibonacci area around here, 38.2%, which is a key number, around 36, 37, and we can see a lot of price action hopefully building as support. Look at the volume over there as well at price, a lot around this area, so maybe a good support area for the price to push on back upwards. Targets the upside 45, 50, 51, and then those highs 59 before it can push on back up towards the 75 area. So if you're interested in the AI sector as a whole, then maybe check out ROBT. That's the First Trust Nasdaq Artificial Intelligence and Robotics ETF. So with that, let's get into those stocks. So before I get into my favorite picks of AI stocks for 2023, I'm going to take you through the list of 20 that I've put together, give you the tickers and the names. Maybe you want to follow up on them, maybe you want to let me know in the comments below I've missed any that you'd have had on this list. But if we start at the top, we've got Google, and as you can see, and this is going to be a story of a lot of these AI stocks, that quite frankly it hasn't been great last year or so for this industry, and it's the same with the tech world more generally. So that's Google. Then we have Amazon, then we've got IBM, then we got Nvidia, then we've got C3.ai, which really doesn't look a nice chart there. Then we've got SAP, the German company. We've got UiPath, we've got Splunk, we've got Upstart Holdings, Duos Technologies, Medtronic PLC, Palantir Tech, then Meta Platforms, aka Facebook, Microsoft, AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, Twilio, Oracle, Autodesk, and finally there Verisk Analytics. So that's my 20. So let's find out now how I've narrowed that down and picked my favorite ones for you to watch. So first up, and it's no surprise really, it's Nvidia, the number one graphics chip master in the AI sector, the go-to for the AI machines. Also big in AI data centers and even self-driving cars. And if we look at the chart, well, it's not been great, as we know. For a while it's been declining, but some key activity happening around about those lows of 114, 115, where there was a lot of volume traded at that price, and bounced nicely from that longer term Fibonacci where we saw support way back in March of 21. Now in terms of indicators, we've got a switch on the DMI cross there, so it's looking a bit more bullish, starting to push up now through that key 38.2% Fibonacci line, and also trying to push through its 200 moving average. Now if it can get up, targets the upside 230, sort of zone 250 maybe, then those highs 350, and then way up 475, 500 sort of zone. So a lot of upside there. And if we talk about percentage gains, if we drew that on, let's just have a look at that. It gives us potential return there of nearly 170% if it can get to those highs. So Nvidia, leading AI chip manufacturer, graphics card guru, plenty of potential there to grow as the sector grows. Continuing the no-brainer picks, I've gone for Microsoft, offering good value at the moment. In the AI world, they're in all sorts of different products, and sectors: climate change, healthcare, heritage, equal outcomes opportunities, all sorts of different areas, really spending a lot of money in building this out. And heading into the chart, similar to Nvidia that we saw, not quite as bullish at the moment, still trading a little way below its 200 moving average there. A lot of price action around that bounce of those lows that we saw in November time, around the $230 mark. Signals at the bottom still negative. Volatility starting to pick up a little bit, volume doing nothing particularly special. Now we want to see really that price breaking. We can see this trend here, this really nice strong trend. So if we want to see a real bullish move, then it's got to be above there, and we're looking at highs all the way up to $430, $440, but it's going to have a lot of noise, action around between 225 to 260 before it gets really exciting for me, and that's where I'd want to see that break through. So that's Microsoft. Last of my no-brainer picks is Amazon. We're all familiar with them, but they are massively into AI tech. They spend a fortune on it, building out all sorts of AI models across their businesses. Even stuff like Alexa, those household products that we're very familiar with, but their grocery stores, web services, cloud infrastructure, e-commerce, it all runs on this AI thinking and technology, and it's only going to get bigger. And they're in other areas, logistics, it's a massive bit of their business, other stuff, ebooks, streaming, voice activated tech. It is a real big thing for them. And in the chart, it's probably the worst of the three of the no-brainer picks so far. Really did have a bad last year, and still it's not that great at the moment, but encouraging signs around this bounce at the bottom here, maybe at $81. Let's hope that's the bottom there. Again, a lot of volume at this level, at this price, and upside wise it's got to get through that 110 area, and maybe that 200 moving average will then start to go there, and that will be maybe our crossing point for the bulls to come in, and then it's up to the next key Fibonacci area where there's a lot of noise around there, about 120, 125, then $150, break through the highs around 190, and then dream world $230, $240, which would give you a return of similar to Nvidia, 160, 170%. So that's the 3 no-brainer picks. I'm going to just throw 2 curveballs into the mix as sort of outliers for the following year that could turn good. Now for the first of my curveball picks, it's not really a curveball, I think. Verisk Analytics. Now you may or may not have heard of them. Who are they? Well, they're a data analytics company who serve the finance, insurance, risk, analytics, economic forecasting industry, headquartered in New Jersey. They've got a great artificial intelligence platform called Verisk Vi, heavily into AI in a sector that is rife for development in that sort of new technologies, neural networks, computer visions, learning, generating insights, that sort of thing. Quite popular with hedge funds as well, Verisk. And if we head into the chart, just turning bullish, and it's one of those, well, it's one of the stronger charts in that sector at the moment. It's been holding up. It's been a bit volatile in peaks and troughs over the last year or so, but it seems to have paused around this sort of zone, 175 to 160. Again, a lot of volume there. It can push up through the key Fibonacci about 188, 190, then highs a target at 230, and dream world scenario, well, it's 280 and then $300. And finally, an old favorite, Oracle, and again heavily into the world of AI, offering customers all sorts of different solutions and applications, software as a service services, for example AI chatbots, disruption minimization and mitigation, predictive modeling, really focused in on the AI. So could we see a recovery in Oracle heading into the charts? It's not too bad at the moment compared to most in this sort of zone area sector. We can see, we just get those Fibonacci's on there down to that low. We saw a low point really for the company back here in sort of really just when the COVID crisis hit in, and actually it had a really good performance on the way up there. Then, as with all the others, it collapsed at this double bottom pattern in around this key Fibonacci area, 65 to 60. A lot of volume at this 55, 60. And then we've seen a bounce, and we'd hope that it pushes to the highs around 100, 105, and then dream scenario, it's 130, 135 dollars. So that is Oracle. So there you go, plenty to get your teeth stuck into. Lots of stocks, ETFs as well to have a look at if you want that wider exposure to the AI sector. Love to hear your thoughts on my list, my short list, and that 20. Have I missed any? Do you agree, disagree? Get those comments coming in. Now, if you're new to trading, wondering where you can get your hands on these stocks, whether it be the stock itself, CFD, spread bets, I'm going to put a couple of links below the video in the description, eToro and Tiger Brokers, where I'll be trading all of those stocks and ETFs. They're all available there. If you want to follow up that, please do so. So let's cross our fingers for a good 2023 for the AI sector and the stock market as a whole. So thanks for watching, good luck with the trading, and I'll see you in the next video.